Good evening, viewers of Voice of Canada. We are again here this week with a brand new episode. Your host is Asphandiar Wadiwalla, and our charming co-host is Kamini Singh.
Hello.
We have a very dynamic, multitasking guest, Ruksan Para.
Right.
Welcome to our show. Just introduce yourself, who you are. Whatever name I've taken is right or not?
Ruksan Para, community activist from Markham and especially GTA. And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
It's my distinct honor to be part of
It's always a pleasure. It's your show. Whenever you have got any exciting news you want to announce to our viewers, you're most welcome.
Thank
Just
you so
inform
much.
me in advance and we'll get you on our show.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Okay, so welcome again, Ruksan.
Thank you.
Ruksan, right?
Yes,
Ruksan?
Ruksan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ruksan. Okay, so I'm your co-host Kamini for the Voice of Canada weekly show, and our main host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We welcome you again to the show. I would like to start with, I understand that you want to contribute to education sector. So maybe I would like you to share with our viewers as to how long you are kind of connected to education sector and in what capacity, and how you're basically serving in your region.
Absolutely. So I've been.
It is in two parts. You must have read that questionnaire. You'll be saying half and half again after another question.
Sure. It's a fabulous question. I've been serving the education community since 1996.
Wow.
Since
wow.
I was in.
You're a
since I was
senior
in-
guy in educational community.
Totally into education.
Totally in education for
Right.
sure, 100%.
Yeah.
I've been working with a number of children and especially immigrant parents since 1996
Okay.
to ensure that when we came in, so I should say when my parents came in, there were a lot of challenges that has
Right,
gone through
yeah,
in the education
yeah,
system. And I myself, my
Mhm.
brothers, cousins, and so on and so forth, went through a lot of challenges as well
Yeah,
to
yeah.
understand what the education is and
Mhm.
how do we navigate it, how do
Right.
we progress and things like
How
that.
do we improve the difficulties and remove
Absolutely.
the hurdles?
Absolutely. Being a South Asian, one of the
Mhm.
things that our parents want all of us to be is either doctor, lawyer, accountant, or engineer. I call it Dale factor,
I
right?
know.
So is my parents. There's no difference as well,
Right,
right? So
yeah.
is my parents. But there's a lot of challenges in that as well, right?
Yeah.
To progress,
Yeah. Mhm.
dealing in a multi-diverse community
Right.
and being first here in Canada,
Mhm.
you don't know the language, you don't know
Right.
the atmosphere, you don't know
Yeah.
everything. So I felt in 1996 there's a lot of need that needs to be helped. Even
Good
though
guy.
I was a new immigrant at that time as
Okay,
well, I
yeah.
came to this country in '93.
What is your origin?
I'm a Sri Lankan.
Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Sri
Yeah.
Lankan.
Tamil?
Tamil, yes. And coming to the country myself brand new in 1993, but I soon realized it, like the fear.
challenges,
I wouldn't want to say the fear, but the adversity, like the parents that
I
were
know,
going through
yeah.
that, right?
I know the feel,
Okay.
like in a sense, just being there,
Yeah.
getting into it.
We
right?
will be
Exactly.
moving a little faster because we have got a shortage of time
Sure.
and we're already running late. There's another live show soon to be recorded.
Okay.
So, Ruksan, inform our viewers. Now we have talked about especially what you did in Markham and in your city. Talk about overall region of York.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we're going to the same route. It's like, I've been championing
Elaborate about the whole region.
the whole region.
Yeah.
York Region District School Board has municipality of nine municipalities.
Nine municipalities,
right?
there. Name them. Few of the very popular ones. Richmond Hill is there.
Markham, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, King City,
Newmarket.
Aurora, East Gillenbury, and so on. I've been working with children from all across
All
York
the
region, not only York
municipalities.
region.
Yeah.
I've been working with some of the children with learning disabilities. There's a
Mhm. Special kids.
category. Special category, not only from York region, from GTA, even there are some parents that I worked from, like Peel region here,
region?
Mississauga, Brampton, Malton,
Uh-huh.
and Caledon as well, right?
Oh, okay.
So apart from York region, that education needs is there for the parents as well as for the children.
Yeah.
So it's not just York region. I have gone to
You're out of the region also. You are working
Beyond
for
that,
all
right?
over GTA.
Yeah, I've gone to Durham and even I've
Have you touched Peel?
Peel,
You
yes,
said, yeah.
I went to Miss. I've had parents and children from Mississauga, Brampton,
Halton?
Malton. Halton, that's no, I don't think so.
Okay.
But Malton, yes.
Okay, Malton.
Yeah. So Malton is Peel, I guess, right?
Yeah, Peel.
Go ahead.
Okay, so moving on to the next, which is kind of related to politics in a way. So,
Sure.
Recently, just I think 2 months ago, we had our local body election in which you kind of contested for a school board trustee from, you can talk about which wards and
Yep,
things like that. And then what I know is basically it didn't really work well for you. But
it's
what exactly
difficult
happened?
in
Yeah.
the third
Your
tier.
experience in there.
Third
and
tier of the
your
government,
improvement.
you to unroot the incumbent is not easy.
Yeah. So in my case, there was no incumbent.
Okay.
It was an open seat.
Okay.
Votes
So the
five-
person had retired, that person was
Yeah.
stepping
So
down.
they changed the boundaries.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
they
So that's
changed the
how the
boundaries. So
okay.
initially, I ran in vote 4 and
So that
5,
was a
which is
golden
not the
chance
4.
for you.
Absolutely, but again, it's a lot of people because it happened on a Diwali day, right?
Mm.
So a lot of our South Asians were celebrating Diwali.
But you should have made arrangements because this talk was going on during the local bodies election, that the day of election, voting day, and there were advanced polling dates also.
No.
So you should have worked hard in advance days.
No, we do. So the only challenge, not only for the municipal candidate as myself,
Mhm.
but all the municipal candidates, but the challenge that we have is we have to carry ourselves. Because when
Definitely.
it comes to party,
Mhm.
the party representation will have it. They have the own
Here it's
budget.
a non-party basis.
It's independent.
This is not a party.
So in order for us to carry that, it's very challenging because we
Mhm.
need to knock all the doors. Like I have about 20,000 plus doors to knock. And
Wow, wow.
so to do that in 30 days, it's one of the
So
impossible.
what are the demographics of that 20,000?
We got South Asians, a large population, about 27 to 30%. Asian population, which is
Okay.
another 20 to
Means
30%.
including Chinese?
Chinese and everything. When I
Yeah.
say East Asian, I mean
Easy,
including
yeah.
Philippines, Taiwanese, Chinese.
And what about South Asians?
South Asian has about 25 to 30%,
Wow,
27 to
wow,
30%.
wow. It's a very,
actually.
very
Yeah.
It's a large population.
multicultural.
It is
now,
multicultural, but the challenge is that people like the municipal election is historically people don't look into it, and that's what something that
Mhm.
the
And the
challenge.
turnout this time was little better. It was not
No,
that bad.
it was not. It was not
It
that
was
much.
bad in
It
your
was not.
region?
It-
Okay,
it
because it improved in the region of Peel.
nice. That's good.
We
That's good to
improved a
hear.
little bit, not much, because lots of people, they don't have interest with the non-party elections, and the elections were coming off and on. So people are practically little
Yeah, because-
exhausted too.
Because the voters should pay attention to the municipal election because that's where the day-to-day
Yeah.
Activities are there, yeah. The difficulties of the local government, yeah.
your garbage,
policing,
your
the
tax,
fire,
policing,
water.
and education also falls
And education,
into,
correct.
into local government as well.
So
right?
there is room for improvement for sure.
So-
Absolutely,
Got lots of
100%.
But
learning.
Yeah.
tell our
experience.
viewers, we usually see the education sector is always in conflict with the current or past rulers. They have troubles and lots of problems do occur. So how to remove those? Because the main victims are our children.
Mm.
Strike takes place, our children are at home, the parents come into lots of issues, and then becomes really, really hard. Canada is a country with very severe winter. So even we have snow days, so that school gets off. Usually now, though they don't take a risk, the buses are off the road. So there are lots and lots of issues in the educational sector, and we still need lots of improvement. Like now, the summers of Canada have changed. Let me tell you, we even touch some days to 42 or 41 degrees also here in Canada. And our classrooms of our schools are like oven.
Yeah.
And it is really hard to breathe and all that stuff. So it's high time. We can afford, we are a democratic, rich country in the world. We are among the G7 and G20. So we must improve the standards of our education further.
Not only education, in a lot of ways, and because it's fun. It's a good thing that you mentioned G7 and G20.
Yes.
We're the
yeah.
countries in G7 and G20 countries
Mhm.
do not have our cars. Like we don't have our own manufacturing cars. So
Mm.
there's lots of room to improve. Like not to point out, but
We are lacking in manufacturing. We are more towards retail and warehousing.
But absolutely.
Yeah.
So from education perspective, also there's a lot of great things that this
Yeah.
country does. But at
Uh-huh.
the same time, there's a lot of improvement, and
Yeah,
it's good that
Infra
you
is one
mentioned.
of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one thing that we mentioned about the strike and everything. And yes, our parents get caught with the strike and everything.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, we need to look at the policies as well,
Mhm,
right?
right,
You know,
yeah.
what is
Needs
the
the
teacher- what is the
policies
teachers are
need to
getting,
be
right?
changed and looked into time to time.
Absolutely, because just like our mental health, the teachers' mental health is important as well.
Yeah, very
Teachers get
important, yeah.
abused by the children,
Yeah,
right?
of
And they have
Yeah.
all the rights to ask
Right.
for
Yeah.
their rights and everything. It's the local government, or not the
Right.
local government, the provincial government,
Uh-huh.
for them to bargain. And
Right.
it's always going to be chicken and the egg story.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's who makes that noise, right? So
Mhm.
for my campaign, I always kept on saying it.
Mhm.
I have no interest in other politics, like
Right,
the
right,
provincial or federal or anything.
You're a man, local man.
Yeah.
I'm a local,
Whereas I always like the federal politics.
local, but from education perspective,
Right.
because
It's a very
education is the
important part.
backbone to
Yeah, of course.
a lot of things. Like
Yeah.
my parents flew the country, and I flew my birth country and everything.
And they
because-
were there also, the Tamils were facing lots of
It's
issues.
because of the education.
Mm,
Right.
It's because of the
Yeah.
education, right? So
Yeah.
education is the foundation for a lot of things.
Yeah,
So
wherever
there's-
we are today, we are because of our education. I think so.
absolutely,
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Right?
But Ruksan, what I feel since last 2-3 years, the conditions are deteriorating. I'm
Mhm.
also connected with the Peel District School Board, and I do visit schools.
Mhm.
Not 1, 2, 3 schools I visit, and I see that from the level of middle school to high school, the law and order is going just like American schools.
Mhm, mhm,
That students are not following even the principal.
My
mhm,
God.
I've seen a student cursing a principal,
mhm.
which is not a good sign.
Yeah,
Scary,
but is it a school's problem? Like
No,
let's-
but the thing is, each management, the thing is, we have to look into it. The school board trustees should regularly visit. The school board trustees usually are sitting at the council.
Mhm.
They should visit the schools,
absolutely,
have talk with the parents, should have talk with the management,
absolutely.
because completely management cannot handle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing, and I really feel sad the way the things are and that unruly
No,
behavior.
Not
Yeah.
only Peel region. I mean, you hear the stories in news and
Yeah.
other things,
Right.
like the violence and the
Yeah.
abuse, and
And they
everything
don't
that
have
takes-
power to even suspend that student, violating student, for more than a day.
So-
disciplinary actions are not really that
Not
strict
implemented.
here.
So I don't want to say it's not strict. It is strict.
It is
and
there on
everything.
papers, but not
Right.
implemented.
No.
To a certain extent, yes and no. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are things. I mean, it's the one good point that you brought was like the law and order within the school. Now, I can't really speak about Peel region because I don't know.
No,
much
I'm
about Peel
talking
region.
generally, the whole of
But I can
GTA.
speak-
I get reports from other regions
But
too.
from York region perspective, they
Mhm.
pull the police officers away from the school. They used to be
Everywhere,
police-
even from the
Oh,
Peel.
okay.
That's
Now-
a long time.
Now that is a no for me, to be honest. Okay,
Mhm.
it's not I'm saying that you need somebody with a big brother with a cane that
Mhm.
has to be there,
Mhm.
but it gives somewhat a disciplinary.
But there
act.
was a scare.
Mhm.
Some students used to get, seeing a uniform police in the school, used to get scared. It was a psychological
it's a
issue.
psychological,
yeah,
right? But
that's scary
that's
for the
where I
kids.
was standing.
Yeah.
That there are small policies that you
Uh-huh.
can change
Right.
to bring the law and order
Yeah.
back again
Yeah.
and at
Yeah,
school.
maybe
Okay.
I'm just thinking if you have the policeman kind of educate the kids why like the police is there, right? You know, if the kids are knowing they are to protect, they'll be okay. They'll
Yeah,
just get this-
like he
Yeah.
said, there'll be a small fear factor that will come in. Oh
yeah,
my
but that
God,
will
the
go by
police is
the
there.
by awareness of the
Exactly,
kids, right?
exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
But some police officers used to label certain communities and this and that.
Oh.
There were lots of complaints.
That's
So
gonna
that was the reason that our provincial government looked into it. They asked the local government to remove the police. And that time the law and order was not an issue. But last 2-3 years, I'm really shocked the way the things are. The
See, that's
vice principal walks away after hearing the curses from a student.
Yeah.
Can you believe?
That's sad. That's really
that is sad.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going back to the point where you mentioned that police are targeting certain communities.
If they
and
are in
everything, right?
plain clothes, that would have made a difference. A person who is involved with the students, he can play the games with them, he can talk with them, mix with them, but not in uniform. I'm not in favor of a uniform policeman in the school because that will give a lot of fright and psychological issues to lots of children, especially from other ethnic groups.
Although
It's
there
true.
might be a sense of security as
They
well.
may be,
if
may-
you
maybe
look
for-
other way.
It's like you driving in a highway and
Right.
you're seeing an OPP car
Right.
in a far.
And you immediately control your speed.
So because you know that law and order is there, so
Right.
therefore you consciously you bring in your mind to ensure, okay, you know what?
Mhm.
I may be going 5
Right.
kilometers
Right.
above the limit,
Yeah.
so I should come down.
Right.
Definitely.
It gives that
Yeah.
perception
And
to
now
the
even
child.
there are indicators. As far as the speed limit is concerned, it's not only seeing a police vehicle, we get the digital indicator, your speed is that much.
Exactly.
So immediately it strikes in your mind and you slow the vehicle because we Canadians are compassionate and law-abiding citizens of Canada.
Absolutely, 100.
With that note, we'll be taking a short break and we'll be soon back with you. Thank you. We welcome back our viewers of Voice of Canada, our new episode of this week. Your host is Asphandiar Wadiwalla, co-host is Kamini Singh, and we have got a very, very educated and dynamic guest from Markham in the region of York, Ruksan Para.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, Ruksan, the next question for you. It's basically we did the research on you and we saw some pics that, and also read that you were, and you also said you're a community activist, right? So what organizations, if you are associated with, what organizations those are, what platform do you use to promote yourself, to work towards the education sector? So maybe you want to share about
No,
that.
I'll do. It's going to be a little long answer.
No worries.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No worries.
I wanted to remove the word promote myself. So what?
Not promote what you are doing, what services you are giving to in educational sector to our communities.
Absolutely.
Promote your work.
Yeah. I've co-founded an organization called YPAM, which is called Youth and Parents Association of Markham. Through that organization, there are a number of things that we do, like literacy. If you come to Markham, I mean, Canada, it's by Huffington Post in 2016 that Canada ranks 124 countries out of 125 countries. So we are worst in literacy.
My God.
But good to say that we are better than our neighbors, because 125th is our neighbor country.
Wow, that's a news to me. I never knew that, believe me.
So, I mean, you take Markham, for example, especially Southeast Markham has a lot of issues in literacy.
They can't speak English even. There are new immigrants.
Not only speaking English. So literacy means it's not speaking English, right? It's about understanding it. Going through, like, having a word, like, can I get a coffee means, oh, what are you asking? Like, getting that input and everything.
But in Asian countries, you know what the meaning of literacy is. If a person is able to sign his name, the person comes in literate.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'll give you
Southeast Asia.
So I'll give you an example. I went to Belleville in the year of 2016. It was August 27th or something, and I had a chance to chat with a former Toronto District School Board,
trustee.
A person who was in power.
Okay.
Third or fourth person that was in the power a while ago.
Wow.
He's been working with a lot of Bellevillians, like meaning people from Belleville.
Yeah.
And I was there right in front of him when he was trying to cater to a student. And she's like old. She's old means like I don't want to
senior person.
A senior person in the education, because education, just like how Raman went to 14 years of forest.
But in our education sector, you will meet lots of seniors.
Yeah, but here also 14 years of studies that they have.
They don't leave the seat till they are retired.
Absolutely. So that person could not even write apple or spell apple.
Oh my
God.
But
she could speak English very well, right? That is considered literacy, right? So just like that, there's a lot of issues in Markham itself. So I've been trying to, through the organization that I've been saying, we partnered with Markham Public Library and did some reading to success. So just the basic reading, so that actually the motivate them. Like we cannot. When 100 kids comes in, we cannot look for 100% return. My goal or the organization goal was 10% return, right? At least 10 kids, or maybe even 5 kids.
Yeah, okay.
Through that, then we started a grade specific spelling bee contest. So it's like grade specific. Grade ones participate with grade ones.
It still every year?
Every year. We only didn't have it this year because of the logistical. We didn't want to do it online.
COVID thing was there.
We even had it during COVID online. Only this year because we didn't want to do it online. So we said, okay, we'll cancel.
Maybe next year in person.
Next year we'll start it in person. And then we had math contest, grade specific, because the numerous issues, like we've been talking about financial literacy and so on and so forth. And then leadership, like, public speaking and leadership and everything.
Even
that's a good training.
Yeah. So those ones we've been training the kids and everything. We have good results. And I'm proud to say, from our organization perspective, we have very less turnover ratio, meaning like if 10 kids comes in join in level 1, maybe we have we have 8 kids graduating at level 5.
Wow.
Which are like 2 to maybe 3 people that
drop
out.
The results are showing it.
The results are showing it. And we had results from parents as well, that they never expected certain things like this. And more importantly, parents say that they learned words like vocabulary using our spelling bee material and our training that we give kids. They learn their confidence. They build their confidence in public speaking as well.
We have to move a little forward because due to time factor, I don't want that few more questions are lost.
Sure.
So Ruksan, I also see from your bio and what I have heard from the population in your region that you also undertake some programs like walks for the senior and other activities you do, not only in education for the children, but you are managing some community activities also. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. There's a lot of so two things that I'm passionate about is youth and seniors. Right? And seniors are locked in, like in nature of the country, right? Because of snow and things like that.
Season and various factors, busy life.
Children are busy.
It's different.
So their mental health is important. So make sure that they have their mental health. So we do the senior walk, we do yoga, we do multiple things. Like, we
outings and all the stuff, partying and outings. The seniors they need. They need.
It's just like they feel relaxed,
but
motivated.
They are taking those initiatives.
They come about and doing different things through the different organization. And there's something called like we have FTC right now. With that you mentioned that Neetu is going to be joining in sometime later. She and we've been talking about how we can do better for the other seniors within the region of Markham.
That's that's nice work. Huh?
That's a good work and interesting. If you enjoy doing it.
Absolutely, I enjoy it.
Okay, so the next question quickly, maybe because this country is all about immigrants, right? So you want to talk about your background, where you were born, how you migrated, which year, and all those like.
Sure. I was born in Sri Lanka, which is not part of, we call it Tamil Eelam. And I came to this country. I've gone through a lot of educations in back home
and even Canada also. You took education.
My maternity and paternity side, there are like a lot of teachers, professors, and everybody's there as well. So you can see how the education.
That's why you are so aware in education sector.
Education came along.
Right.
So coming to this country in 1993, but believe me or not, I still remember the conversation. Very first day at school, my dad, myself, and I think it's a teacher liaison or somebody was sitting there, and she asked me what my name was, and I couldn't even say my name. I said I came from Sri Lanka. So that's how I understood.
Okay. Ruksan, inform our viewers. This is a continuation question about your immediate family, your spouse, and all. Well, what is the constitute your immediate family is?
Yeah, so I'm married to a lovely wife called Gaia, and I have a son. He's in
just one child.
One child.
Lovely.
He's 11, and he's into sports like myself as well. So he's in grade 6, and we are one small family. And I have my parents here.
It's a joint family.
It's joint family, but my parents live like just about 5 minutes walk.
South Asian is fine. They stay together.
Yes, we do.
We keep our bonds with the family.
So when we organize for birthday parties, we try not to organize a small party because it's about like a lot of family members comes in.
Definitely, so our parties are large. With South Asian, the parties are large.
A year,
the food is also large. The menu is large.
once a year we organize, and then about 300-400 people come
together. It's like an event actually.
That's true. It's an event. We can hold it in our household. We have to rent.
True. You have to rent a hall or some other outdoor location.
Exactly.
Okay, so with the lack of time. So the next one is we want to know about your involvement with an event that was all about road safety, like I think the reckless driving and all that is going on. We hear the news and all, but you were involved with something that was aimed at the motorists for the safety of our children in our school.
Absolutely. So there are a lot of issues that happen. So close to where I live, just about a few kilometers away, a child died because of motorist speed.
Irrational driving
and everything and so on, right? And it's not just. There are a lot of news that comes along from
off and on. Some sad incidents, ugly incidents.
So we started.
It's been more.
Yeah. So we started educating the drivers. So we make sure that they don't park by the school, like when they're on and.
But
on,
now we install a closed circuit cameras in Peel.
Yeah, no, closed circuit cameras is there too, but it's like it's a convenient factor, right? We're sacrificing. So as a father, I rather pick up my child at the door versus me walking for 2 minutes and picking up the child.
Right.
But that's a convenient factor. But we're jeopardizing other parts of the safety as well.
Right.
So we started advocating, or even myself. myself, started advocating and speaking to the drivers to, help them understand what if this is your child.
So this was an event or it was a campaign? Like it looks like a campaign.
No, it's campaign event, like we call
awareness
program.
Awareness
Yes,
program.
we continuously did it.
Yeah.
Then Markham bylaw and then YRP joined, and they started also with a campaign event and things like that. And now I'm proud to say in few schools, the parking is no longer that parents understand. I should not go
pick
to
and drop and go, kiss and go.
Not even. So
because
it's
here we call it kiss and go.
So we spoke to them about the benefit of walking, 10,000 steps a day, and things like that, and so on. Now they're like, okay, even if they, I know a few parents like they park where I live, and it's only like
but
6
the
minutes
safety
walk.
can be jeopardized if they are parked far off, because small children they need.
But no, they walk and pick up their children now.
They walk and pick up the children. They park their vehicles far off.
Very and good. To go and pick up the children.
Yes, they're not going into that area.
Into that area.
Or congesting in that school vicinity. Okay, Ruksan, also we see, and I have seen in events and all that, you enjoy a very good relationship with the Markham Council.
Absolutely.
With the mayor, our honorable mayor, we are really, really blessed to have the best mayor. I say whole of Ontario. I mark our honorable Scarpity as #1 mayor. He's doing a lot of work. Plus, he has got a very able councillors too. So that we are very happy that you have got a liaison with all of them, and they help you in your programs and your awareness programs and all that stuff. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Are you planning anything to do during this new term of the council with the help of your local council?
Absolutely.
The mayor and the councillors?
Absolutely. Mayor of Markham sits on the board, the Youth and Parents Association of Markham that we co-founded. He actually helped me to co-found and everything. He's an advisor, and not only him, the CAO is part of the board as well. So there's few people that are part of it.
See, good interests you are taking.
And they understand, I give them data, and obviously they have their busy life. They have to look at the day-to-day operation of the household perspective as well. So these ones,
and they are very passionate. What I've seen,
absolutely.
they are very, very passionate because I have been in very close liaison with your council, your mayor. So I know them.
We spoke about Amanda. Amanda's very well.
Amanda came twice to our show.
There
you
you
won't
go.
believe twice. Isa Lee came.
Okay.
And I'm expecting some few more councillors from Markham.
Nice.
And I've been taunted by my own city councillors. We don't have councillors in Mississauga. Your show is only for Markham. or the
Maybe
region,
you should move the
region of York. So I just tell them that it was Honorable Mayor Frank Scarpity who has given me a title of Honorary Citizen of Markham.
There you go.
So I always give them back with this answer. Go ahead.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. So I think we spoke about it a little bit, but do you think there are some issues or problems in the schools of your region? Like, if some, what it would be, and what would be your suggestion?
There's tons of issues that's going on, right?
And,
issue will never end. Educational issue will always persist.
Right. And to add, just like during the COVID, what happened? So post the COVID, if there are some issues to
we like he said, the issues are never going to be.
They're not going to end in the education sector.
That is,
but they will erupt. As time passes, new issues will be erupting.
Absolutely. So the issues that we are trying to champion are the abuse, sexual harassment, bullying, right? And children with learning disability and so on and so forth.
Plus now the issue of chronic is drugs. The drugs are being
drugs is a huge issue.
Huge issue of drugs. They have to control that also, because drugs are being sold in high schools. And even some cases happen in middle school too.
Middle school, high school. So it's the awareness.
It's a matter of concern,
right? It's like I said earlier. Out of 100 children, you're not looking for 100 children. You wanted the 100 children. You wanted towards it.
Plus weapons.
Weapons is a
At
huge
few
thing.
institutions, weapons were found.
So there are a number of issues, and we're taking a lot of measures with measures means through organizations, community organizations, and through YPAM and things like that. We're trying to keep the kids busy. We're trying to organize certain events and things like that, so that kids motivate themselves busy, so that they're not thinking we're not
keep them busy.
Keep them busy.
The main factor is keep them busy.
Challenge them, maybe.
Increase more activities for them, and fun and learning.
Motivate them. because
motivate them. Yeah.
we don't want it to, once you make a teenager bored, you're not going to get the teenager back. So you wanted to motivate them.
Call good speakers who can speak to them. They can counsel them.
Absolutely.
And lots of things can happen.
100%.
But high school age is the kids also going through the mental,
absolutely. I mean, it's like I wanted to sound like I'm blaming the technology, but I cannot still blame the technology because
you can't blame, because each child comes from a different background. That also affects a child and his mental behavior.
Absolutely.
Because
technology is also helping to
technology
grow,
is helping
to grow. Actually,
the council, the school has, even in Peel, we have got a parents council also assisting the management, and they take up the questions very seriously, about how to behave, groom those children, make them aware of look into the difficulties, because I have even seen kids who cannot bring the lunch, and they are so embarrassed during lunchtime, and they are so hungry. So they say, my mama did not give me lunch. But then the actual factor, when you dig out, you investigate, they don't have lunch, the resources to get lunch.
Absolutely.
So we must do something. We must have some funds in hand, the school, who can provide quietly, without any hesitation. A slice of pizza is not going to kill a school board.
So in York region, it's considered P schools. Once again, I don't know about
apples and so we provide.
They do except the dairy and the nuts and everything, like anything that is related to
allergic. The office keeps.
The school does
the biscuits
provide
and all that stuff. Yeah.
But one of the things.
No.
Pardon?
No, you don't have to pay.
We have to just inform.
They do. It's considered a performance schools, and there are some.
We get them.
So schools provide them, right? And one other thing is like the food shortage, like not food shortage, like what do you call the food is scarce for a lot of South Asian communities.
Lots of families,
but
they can't afford to give a breakfast even.
Not even, but the issue is, it's I don't want to sound like ego, but it's like the prestige. Why would I want to go and ask for food and everything?
Right, yeah.
No, they start crying. Some children are so they start crying, and when you say, what's wrong? I'm hungry.
Yes.
I said, don't worry. What would you like to eat? Can I arrange some pizza? Can I arrange a fruit? And they say, with a smile. We don't have to dig into it, why you didn't bring but we put it on the report, on record. Then the counseling and the teacher will call the parent. What was the reason that your son or your daughter did not bring a breakfast? What are the reasons? You forgot by chance, or you have got some other difficulties. So do inform us. So that's way the matters are solved day by day.
100%. So this is an ongoing issue with a lot of people, but we wanted to encourage, I know viewers are watching. If you know of a family that is struggling in this
lots of struggling now, and even food banks are overwhelmed.
Encourage them to go ask food banks. I'm
very concerned about the food banks in Mississauga. They say that after the third week it starts, there are families we had not seen their faces ever. They come to asking food. I'm talking about the region of Peel.
Wow.
And I feel ashamed. And then we have more collection of food and everything, and more campaigns.
Absolutely. Like we do for food banks, throughout,
around the year. We do around the year, not only Thanksgiving.
5 times we do it.
To know about the situation of the kids coming to the school. Some of the kids,
and even whenever in a political events, we are usually ask the people who are invited to bring some food stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
A dry food stuff to keep in the basket, so we can donate to the food bank.
100%.
That is also one of our motto, to do that. We'll be taking a short break, and we'll be soon back with you. Thank you. We welcome back our viewers of Voice of Canada.
Yes, so the next question is related to what we were already discussing, the inflation and all. I'm not going to talk. So because of all this inflation and
it's affecting everybody.
It's affecting everybody. More of the people are going in the bracket where it's hard to bring food to the table. And so what exactly, and the food banks are getting exhausted. You see more appeals to the people, to donate and all.
But still they are managing well. I would say the Canadian food banks, they are not asking the people to go empty-handed. They give them some substitute food.
Right.
They don't have majority items, but they give them substitute. If you're asking this, I can give you this. If you're asking this. So there are things, alternates are there, but we must all donate who can put food on the table to our food banks and to our needy people. That's our main concern and duty. Moral duty, I would say now.
So, Ruksan, what is your take on this? And also, more of the family is going for the part-time job. It's so exhausting for the families, right? So
now they're working two jobs. The parents are doing two to put food on on the table.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm doing 2 jobs.
Because due to inflation.
I mean,
And again, this month also, we have got a red marker.
Not this month. It's going to be another 3 increase.
Yeah, increase for a rate. And it is, people are worried how they are going to pay the mortgages.
Exactly. And the mortgage, I mean, even my mortgage has gone up tremendously.
From 550, our friend told me, I've been asked to pay 1100 now.
Absolutely.
So where to get that gap of that money?
Exactly.
My income has not changed.
My income is not changed in last number of years. 15 to 19. Even if it increase, it's like this.
15 to 19% has been rise in the food prices. Yeah. People have stopped eating meat products, especially the meat products. But they are even the dairy
that's
products.
What I was going to just say.
They are even hitting the dairy. You won't believe last year twice the dairy prices were revised, which I was very annoyed and angry. I even wrote on public sites, social media sites, that they should not touch the dairy. The dairy is consumed by children and seniors.
See, so you mentioned about the dairy and everything. Lettuce, for example.
Yeah.
Right?
Lettuce, it has become a scare.
To make a, like either veggie or burger at home.
There was shortage.
Now we are doing without lettuce.
Without lettuce. There was a shortage. The whole crop had spoiled.
Right.
Lettuce, that was a shortage.
It's the food. So to go back to going back to your question, it's going to be more challenging. More challenges is going to come.
Right.
I myself is concerned myself as well, right? Yeah. Because I have one young child, young family as well, right? To put the food on the table, we're working hard. My wife is extremely working hard, either myself as well.
She's a working lady?
She's a working woman
very good.
as well, right? And to bring that food in the table and to have extracurricular activities for your young child.
And we have reduced hoteling and other activities nowadays.
I just on my way, I was on a call with an individual. I was speaking to that person to see what alternative I can do to bring my child for that extracurricular activities and everything. He was going there like about 4 to 5 times a week now, but now it's related to sport, and
we would be moving forward because soon I'll be getting a signal. I would definitely would like to ask you about the incoming York University in Markham.
Oh, absolutely.
And I have asked all the counselors and everybody about the progress of York University. What is the progress of York University, and will it open in 2023?
Well, I mean, it was told, and
it was intended to open in 23, the fall of,
intended, but we have to also consider, I mean, I don't know the update, I don't want to speak for the council. This is all my assumption.
No, but still you must be knowing the progress.
No, it's my assumption, because knowing
it's delayed. Work is delayed due to pandemic.
Not only pandemic, the lumber cost has gone up, right? Yeah. The cement and every
cost of labor, everything has gone up.
Cost of labor and everything's gone up, right? So they had an initial budget, and the province has allocated certain budget. So this delay, we have to expect.
The sooner the better. If they finish the project,
sooner is better.
They will start generating the income at the same time. It will be so convenient for lots of cities. It's not going to only for Markham, but I think it will cater up to Whitby and other places.
It's not up to Whitby. So when I went to Ottawa for my first undergraduate, right, you can look at it from the tourism perspective as well. Now I'm becoming a local resident of Ottawa when I'm there. Like I was there for only 2 years.
2 years.
But I was like buying my groceries and everything. You're having more taxes coming in. Now having a York University within Markham, forget about Whitby. You can now go to Ottawa and you bring in people to Ottawa.
That's
here,
true.
Right?
But there are lots of people students are going to benefit with the university nearby,
not only students,
in the region.
The city itself is going to benefit.
And the York has got a name. And York will play a very vital role.
Absolutely, because we got another one at Keele and Finch, which is in York as well.
Because University of Toronto has a campus in Scarborough. They have got a campus in Mississauga
as well.
So York University is high time they should come up, start functioning, and start giving education to our masses and to our immigrant children.
I was telling, I mean, when this announcement came in with our honorary mayor, I was having a conversation. I said, I wish this was there back then, so I don't have to travel to Ottawa, or even I finished it in Ryerson. It's like backyard, like, a lot of expenses can be reduced from my perspective.
She will come because soon.
So, maybe if we have time, one more, just a simple question, because, when we come here, we learn about the education system. One of the things that I know, like there's school which is public and Catholic. What exactly would that fit in? What do you know what the difference is?
So
or why,
there's
what that-
72 school boards in Ontario,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Each school boards, like there's public, Catholic, different ones as well.
And some ethnic groups have got their own schools also.
That's why I said like there's 72 school boards
Okay,
in Ontario,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Public or Catholic means it's public funded. At the end of the day, you're taxpayers, like from York Region.
The house owners and property from a property
Exactly,
taxes.
25 cents of a dollar, you're contributing it, right?
Okay.
Then in the Catholic system, it's like the uniform is there, right? And they have to go through certain religious, the Catholic religion, the religion course that they have to do and everything. Other than that, the math is because the curriculum is mandated by the province, right?
We will be
So-
moving a little faster because I already got a signal to close the interview.
Okay.
So the thing is, another last question would be, we talk about the gas inflation, gas prices. And it was only in this week that they announced that again from early April till end of summer, the gas prices will touch $2 per liter. How we are going to bear that? Tell me.
I don't know how we are going to.
Is there
bear
any
it.
solution? Because I don't see any solution. The using of your vehicle is necessity, especially in GTHA. People go to work, people use for their work purpose. They hardly do outings and all. Now people don't go for long drives and
one
all.
of the things is like, pandemic has taught us, or the
The
corporation
conservation,
corporate world is people can work from home as well, right?
True.
Right.
But there are certain jobs,
Certain
you can't,
things they cannot
manufacturing,
do.
you
Yeah, you
cannot
cannot
do
do.
from.
You have
do
to
from
go
home.
to work.
You have to, like the truck drivers
Yeah.
to. They can. How are they going to operate from home? Or
No, they cannot.
No,
you
no.
can't.
There are certain, we have got cars, they have to operate for their work purpose.
So the
So,
cost of living is
gas
going to increase
prices,
and increase.
I always tell lots of counselors and everybody, I told them, Canada is blessed to have so much of crude oil, but they have not explored. Unfortunately, God knows what red tape is stopping them to refine.
We should read a book called 20 barrels a 20 million
And
barrels a
even
day.
I would again repeat that we have got a refinery in Ontario in Sarnia,
Oh, I didn't know that.
just for knowledge. And I did some research on Sarnia oil refinery. They only use capacity of 33%.
Oh.
Why can't they use the remaining capacity? At least they can meet the domestic demand to some extent,
Right.
not whole.
See, one of the things is, I'm going to go a little off tangent and go to politics. North America is a capitalist country.
Capitalist, or maybe the
So-
big brother is not happy that we explore our oil and start
No
refining.
big brother is always happy.
I just named as the big brothers, and there is a very strong lobby, Middle Eastern lobby too. But I'm glad that slowly and steadily the increase of electric cars are coming, and the ratio is increasing every year. But unfortunately, they are not affordable.
No,
Yeah.
it's
The
affordability is
affordability, the
question.
small car of a size of a Corolla for 5 passengers
Yeah.
is costing 65,000 and above,
70,
Yeah.
and 70.
up.
Yeah.
So how to buy a Tesla? Tell me.
Any new technology, like when we looked at TV, for example, when we had the LEDs and
Yeah.
everything, it was very expensive. And over time, within like 5 years, it came down.
Right.
And I'm expecting this to happen. I don't have an electric car, but I'm waiting for 2026.
Yeah.
Wife and I, we've been chatting and we said, okay, let's look at it in 2026.
But they have given a target by 2035. 100%, 98%, 95%
I've read this
electric.
somewhere.
But
Yes.
I will take the example of iPhone with the Tesla because of the monopoly. You see, like the TV,
Monopolistic.
there are competitions, but Tesla is still date has no competition. If you
No
look at
competition.
that.
There are other electric brand cars
But
coming, but
it's
they're
not
costly.
like how iPhone they play their own prices, right? I'm not sure about. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Apple
my
plays
assumption.
dominates the prices.
Right,
Samsung is much better in quality. I would openly say that. Voice and sound and picture quality of Samsung phones are better as compared to iPhone. But we are stuck up to iPhone due to other apps.
See, I always have,
User-friendly.
I've always have been a BlackBerry guy, and
Oh.
only this
I
year,
used a lot.
Only this year means only
Canadian
professional
BlackBerry.
only
yeah.
2021, it's where
Yeah.
I switched to iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm still learning iPhone, so
Right.
I'm.
So once
I-
you just say once you are an iPhone owner, you're always there. Like you won't want to switch. That anyways, that's off the topic.
So
Sorry
anyhow,
about that.
Ruksan, now though
Yeah.
even the production has lit the red light. Red light is it's a danger sign. So because we have got a live show starting in about 5-7 minutes.
Okay.
So we have to vacate the studio.
Okay.
We thank you for coming today.
Thank you for
And
having me.
we assure you that after a few months or maybe early next year,
Sure.
we'll invite you again.
Sure.
What are your activities? What you plan to do? And plan up your gear up for fighting another local body election. And try to fight for councillor. You'll have more powers than a school board trustee.
But my
bigger.
heart is always with school board.
That is
right?
true, but still, can you, because you are vocal, you are young, you are educated, you can bring lots of goodness to our cities.
Right.
See,
not only to Markham.
See, Markham Council is $500 million council, but school board is $1.3 billion council.
That is true. That is true.
So it's the budget wise it's higher.
But it's never been effective role the school board trustees have played. I only seen you so active because I have never seen such an active school board trustee guy in even Mississauga.
That's true.
I only go and see
That's
them at our council, local council. They are sitting nicely, leisure, having coffees and meeting guests. Sorry to say. That's my opinion.
Okay.
That's
So
my personal
before we
opinion.
end, Ruksan, maybe with your your note for today, and you want to talk about.
Your concluding remarks.
Yeah,
Can you give the concluding remarks about we seem you are a celebrated person.
So this is Ontario government recognized me for 2021 as a June Colwood Award. It's the second highest award in Ontario for the work that I've done for the youth and seniors and everything. It goes through a nomination process and somebody, till today I don't even know who nominated me.
Okay.
But I'm really I cried. The very first time when the government
Because when
called
your
me.
name comes, it's a surprise and happiness.
No, very first time when they called me, I thought it's a spam call. To be honest, I ignored it. Even email came in, I ignored it. I deleted it, right?
Oh my God,
Then 2 weeks later, somebody came in, you have to receive this. I'm like, are you serious? And that's when I Googled to find out it is true. There's something that exists.
So with that note, would you like to give a final remarks?
Final remarks is it's basically I'm in Markham. There are a lot of things that happens, literacy awareness and everything. So I'm part of an organization or co-founded an organization called YPAM, which is Youth and Parents Association of Markham. And there's a lot of events happening. So if you are a viewer that in Markham, reach out to me and we can have a chat, whether it's related to school or anything that progression of the school that you as a parent that needs some help and everything. And then obviously you Google my name and you'll find my contact, or am I allowed to give my contact?
Definitely.
So you could reach out to me at 647-273-8096. Once again, it's 647-273-8096.
Or you can contact Voice of Canada and we'll refer your matter to Ruksan.
Exactly. And if you're a tea person, get me a 2 milk, steep tea, 2 milk, 1 sugar, and we'll have a chat.
Okay, with that note, we will be ending our tonight's episode with Ruksan Para and hope to see him again. We had lots of questions to ask, but due to paucity of time, we have to sign off today. Your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla, co-host Kamini Singh, would say goodbye, good night, and God bless Canada.
Take care.
Thank you.